So hello and welcome to the Trainroom, and today we have again a layout update. Lately it had been a bit weak on the video production side. It's not that we are doing nothing, it's just that we have several ongoing projects which are not finished enough to make videos about. So let's dig straight into it and see what happened in the Trainroom since last time. So the first thing we did was to fix the damages from Trainroom Expo. More specifically, the animated fisherman which someone knocked off from the stand. After a bit of glue, it was fixed. For the next expo, we will need to put a plexiglass panel. The next thing was to secure the upper shuttle station after the last incident where cars fell down on the floor. After other similar events, it was time to act. We added some netting between the holes. I hope that should be enough. Reminder, the back of the station is not done yet. Then we started on the major project for 2025, the industrial zone. Sven Manus wants to embed the track in the street. As we are using Merking trucks, it's not that simple. So we start with the easy part, everything around the tracks. We have now a little discussion because of how to put the paper for the road on that. I say that the difference is not visible, but he doesn't agree.
Yeah, my OCD doesn't agree. So what I did was making a cut.
Yeah.
It's leaving 0.5 millimeter or so, and that goes on top of the sleepers, and then we get a nice
Flush. Yeah.
At least if I can get that correctly placed like that, then we have a very nice fit. That will work, it just takes a lot of work.
Yeah. And the second problem is we are out of depth on 3 millimeter.
And cardboard.
Okay.
As well, so need to go shopping.
So this is one of the construction site which has been lying around for 5 years. There's a locomotive here. Stays. So I have looked at it and I think I know what is the problem. So I have to climb in this hatch. I have to put a red cable on the servo wire, and I think that should solve the problem. Stop. Here I need to put a cable red, which I think goes here. I'm going to explain what was the problem. So if you see, this switch is not exactly the same as this. Okay, so in the one which was not working, the servo wire was a bit higher, like 1 millimeter, and that caused the pickup to be not touching anything for a short while and getting stuck. And now we have powered that servo wire and it solved the issue. Until we got the required materials to continue, Sven Magnus fixed the ballast on both the main line and the branch line. Before we started cutting the foam, Sven Marius wanted to straighten out the tracks.
Det er ikke sånn standard distanse det skal være. 6,6.
To mark where to cut, we press the foams on the track. That leaves marks that we can use. Nå må du skjære.
Ja.
And it was a tedious job to cut out the foam. Then comes the difficult and even more tedious part of removing that millimeter above the sleepers. And then came the moment of truth. The whole process had to be repeated with the cardboard. With the leftover, we created a sidewalk. Another task I did was to solder the Norwegian Catenary mast for the branch line. Sven Marius had bought a kit with 4 masts. We will make a video how to mount this mast from Scala design. It took nearly 1 hour per mast at the beginning. It was clear that we had not enough mast for the whole line. But Sven Marius had the solution.
Yes, gift for you.
Yes.
Or rather more work for you.
How many?
I think it's 16.
You want to keep me busy for the next months? Then I went to Jevnaker for the Model Railroad Fair there. Sven Marius couldn't come this year because he had to fly a plane full of tourists to Hurghada in Egypt on that day. There had been better editions of the fair. Also, it seems that the used market for model railroad in Norway is about to collapse. One stand was selling locomotives for 350 kroners, which is around 30 euros. And it didn't seem people were interested either. I bought a set of Swiss intercity cars for very cheap. Back at the train room, it was time to cut the cardboards. The difficult part was how to mark the tracks on the cardboard. Sven Magnus used weather pigment which stuck then on the cardboard. Then it can be cut. Then it was rinse and repeat for the rest. So now you wonder how we're going to fill the tracks. We think we have a clever solution we will show you in the next update.
Okay.
If you don't want to miss it, then subscribe to this channel. So that's for this time, and if you want to know what previously happened in the train room, then watch one of these videos.